normal people become terrified of criminals.
Shots were just fired. Police just came out and told us, and we're headed there right now.
They become terrified of their own government.
As we're talking about living in a simulation and the AI, I present to you this. An urgent manhunt is underway in the New Jersey town of Helmeta for a suspect in connection to the January 6th Capitol attack. Gregory Yetman evaded arrest and fled into the woods near his home. Let's see, ABC has the latest from the scene. They actually interviewed his neighbor, whose name is Stasi.
Bro. Oh, dude,
Welcome to, okay, like really quick. The big breaking news is a J6er is currently on the run. They're using APC's dogs. They're hunting him down. But the neighbor's name is Stasi, and everyone's just kind of sitting back being like, yo, we're in a simulation.
Even better segue from the last topic is that it's hell meta. That's the future when we're all in the metaverse. And I'm thinking that is hell, California. And that is meta.
Also,
wow, dude, that's crazy. It's a simulation.
This is
hell meta.
The problem with the simulation is it's the writers of the simulation are so bad, right? Like they're on strike or something, and it's so on the nose. It's
hell
so on the nose.
Meta will be hell.
Dude, we should copyright that right now.
That's amazing. So
that's the new sitcom we produce.
I mean, so this is the big story. I don't want to get all sci-fi and creepy and crazy with it. This is a guy who
another ginger. Look at that.
Yeah, they're coming after him.
You feel persecuted?
Yeah.
So apparently, the story is that he had already spoken with the FBI and they cleared him. And then something happened with USA Today where they revealed more information about him. And then the feds went to go serve an arrest warrant and he ran into the woods.
Guy who did something 3 years ago is now a breaking news manhunt. This makes no sense to me.
Yo, and they're shutting schools down.
A non-violent person.
Shelter in place order.
Wow.
Well, hold on. We don't know this guy was non-violent. I don't want to say that, right? There were people there who were absolutely violent. And I don't know if they have photos of what he was doing or whatever while he was there, but maybe he was. This guy was in the National Guard at the time of J6. So that's kind of crazy.
He brought a Humvee. You see that?
What, to J6?
Yeah, there's a picture of it. He must have done it.
Wow.
No, I think that's...
Do you know him from the group message? Can you text him and ask him to run through the woods here? No, I mean, I just maybe he was violent, but at the same time, it is crazy to me that they are still arresting people in connection to January 6th in perpetuity forever and ever, the end. Like, I am skeptical that if he was such a dangerous person, that they would have let it go this long.
I'm sorry. I just got to say this, like, there was something that happened a couple of years ago related to Trump that was so insane. Like, I'm like, we're in a simulation. Like, how could this possibly be? I can't remember exactly what happened. We talked about it on the show and everyone was laughing like, this is nuts. Now, we're literally talking about how weird all of this is. And we have a J6er fleeing into the woods whose neighbor's last name is Stasi in the town of Helmeta.
Look, this is what I'm saying about post-reality. Post-reality is the totality of events occurring both digital and physical as a simulation burns. But the simulation is not the zeros and ones type of simulation. I believe the simulation is being engineered by like corporate press and governments.
No, look, we're in the final seasons. Like, you know, the first few seasons of Simpsons were just awesome, like the first 9. And then after that, it's just been like a downward spiral of like, they're not going to let the show end.
All the good writers left.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is where we're at. And what we're getting is they have no creativity anymore. So they're like, it's a guy whose neighbor is the Stasi or something. Well, we can't do that. So her name is Stasi.
Right.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Do that.
It's like an SNL sketch.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Or maybe they're exhibitionists and they just want to be seen.
I don't know, man. Like, this is crazy stuff. We say simulation, but the reality is I'm sure a lot of Christians are just like, this is God's universe. Like, you're starting to see it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's how I feel. I think we're in base reality, God's reality, and that people are engineering this false reality on top of it. Not to say that this guy running around is, but the way these things are, like Helmeta or Stasi and any other thing that's been happening in the past year just seems so fake. Like they're trying to make us buy into this aggressively unreal reality. Not to say this isn't happening. There's a lot of horrible things happening in the world.
It'd be funny if we're actually already in the pods eating the bugs. And they're just like playing and toying with us as we're strapped in. And we're just like, what? This is life. We're in base reality. And then pans out to base reality and we're already in the pod with tubes in our throats.
We're just extras in a Black Mirror episode. Don't know it.
Yeah, that was another idea I had a while back of like, here's my argument for why we are all NPCs. When the NPCs don't know that they're NPCs and the people who are playing the game know they're playing the game. So if you aren't aware that you're an external, you're outside of the system playing the game, then you're the NPC.
Right.
And we're sitting here talking and we're basically it's Three Dog, right? That was the guy from Fallout, the radio host. So when you're playing Fallout, it's a post-apocalyptic wasteland, you turn the radio on and he's talking.
Right.
and that's it. That's basically, you're the player, you're playing the game, and we're the background noise to facilitate your
Our
your
voices in a
playthrough.
wasteland. Great.
Yeah, like I would have to assume that like this is Trump's game. You know, Trump is like some 15-year-old playing the video game of like it's called like Earth,
Right.
And he's that's his character, and he's playing, and he's like, you know, is nearing the end of the game or whatever, and we're just ancillary characters.
I like to think not, but it does feel like that sometimes, for sure.
That doesn't matter if it does or doesn't. I guess your life is your life.
Yeah, would
That's
it
what
change
is.
how you act? That's,
No.
that's always my question.
I wouldn't for me. I would still act with the moral code I believe in. You know,
I do what I
despite you go crazy.
Yeah, I do what I want.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know if you weren't doing what you want because apparently we're all in the pods anyway. No, I'm just kidding.
So, does this guy have charges brought against him here?
Okay,
They were serving an arrest warrant. Is my
His
understanding.
last his last name
this
is
is from-
Yet Man. What?
This is what I'm seeing from the
They
New
haven't
York
caught
Times.
him yet. They haven't caught him yet, man.
The New York Times says that he was he had been interviewed by the FBI for his participation in the riot, and that he was believed to have fired a large canister of pepper spray at protesters and the police. So this guy was on no one's side.
It's just you with a haircut.
That's my
My
type.
What if
goodness.
No,
what if
You all know each other,
the
right?
Ginger J6 subreddit.
what if the
So
aliens
niche.
are actually just like game moderators? And the reason they can defy physics is because their vehicles are outside of the game for the purpose of
Right.
facilitating the simulation.
Right. We can't see them the way the ants aren't perceiving us.
I like, yo, this. I'm flabbergasted reading this story because it looks like it's like when a game writer has his kid write up a quest. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a guy who's working for World of Warcraft, has his 11-year-old son write up a quest for him. They'll put in the game and he'll put it in because it's funny and he can.
If when I was a professor of creative writing, let's say, and a student came to me with a script like this, I would say maybe this is like, unless it's a satire, maybe this is all too on the nose because every name is ridiculous. Hell meta, like we're not
Stasi,
reaching that
hell
far.
meta.
Yet man, like come on, this is like a Vonnegut rather, you know. Maybe they're using Vonnegut stories. I don't know. You know, I just found out recently, just a little side note on the post-reality stuff, that Vonnegut's brother invented seeding clouds.
Wow.
Wow, dude.
Silver iodide seeding.
That was him. Yeah. Yeah. So
What a fun family.
yeah, just a
Just
little
really
side
getting all
note.
kinds of stuff
For the
done.
simulation people out there.
Maybe it's like a Truman Show. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
I wonder who Truman would be.
Well, maybe it's Trump, or maybe it just shifts,
Trump.
you know, from all
Maybe
of us.
Truman is in Helmeta, and that's how they're keeping him inside because they're like, "Hey, there's a manhunt. Don't go outside right now.
Yeah,
We got to
yeah.
change the sets." Really
Yeah,
quick.
but I think that
That's
we
a
got to
great
charge
theory.
all the birds. Everyone
That's
go
a great
inside for
theory.
COVID.
That's what lockdown was,
It'd be
right.
funny if Trump is like Earth is a Truman Show. We're all ancillary characters that don't matter, but the aliens watch Trump all day, and they're just like, they love him. I mean, who doesn't love
Obsessed.
watching Trump? He's the entertainment
Yeah,
And
king.
there's several seasons in, so it's getting really off the
Right.
rails. They don't know what to do.
But there is real world data to support this theory in terms of Donald Trump's uncle having the Tesla stuff. So
thing.
you know,
time machine.
either Trump is a time traveler or he knows the aliens.
Wait, so
you know?
is Ye just like a side story? Is it like a different? A
He
whole
was
other-
like
Yeah,
a fun character.
No,
arc.
another
Ye is
character.
Roy, right? Like,
Oh, okay.
they introduce a random character to boost the ratings, and then he's gone a season later.
True. Oh, I was thinking like all the dimensions kind of merged in the past few years, and Ye's another protagonist from another dimension.
It was like a
He's on his
crossover
own quest.
episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And him and Trump did meet up for a bit, but they're like, we're too crazy to do this
It's
together.
like Marvel
you know?
and DC kind of match.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would say Kanye is close to the Truman Show though, because Truman did break somewhere
Ye.
towards the end of the show.
Yeah,
and
it's Ye.
It's Kanye.
You know what I think is funny? I was watching clips from the Truman Show because there's a meme where it's Truman is arguing with his wife, and then she's like, "What are
It's
red
hot
coffee?"
cocoa.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's like, "Who are you talking to?" But that wouldn't be weird to him because she would have been doing that his whole life.
Yeah.
It would have been a normal social thing to be like, "Look at product. It's a great product." You'd be like, "Yep, that's what people do."
And we're all used to it now because of influencer culture. where
He'd
it's
be doing
like,
the same thing.
Hey, I'm just on my Instagram stories, like putting my kids to bed, and I thought I'd tell you about this thing just randomly because I'm definitely getting sponsored to do it.
I'm sorry, I got to do it. Like, as much as I love the Daily Wire guys, and I think they're doing such great work, I just got to point out one thing I could never do is, because if you've watched their shows, you know exactly what they do. They'll say something like, I got to tell you, when I learned about how great Vivek Ramaswamy did at that debate, I was so happy to hear it. As happy as I was to try Spindrift, an excellent drink. And I'm just like, I know it's seamless and it's probably the better way to do an ad read, but I could never do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I feel on X these days when I see something about. For instance, it was on Scott Adams' page, and it was about the 3D printed suicide pods with an ad right below it for, let's say, a device for pleasure for women. And I was just like, that is so, and it was like a lady waving goodbye in the pod, smiling, next to this ad saying like double the pleasure. It's like, this is just a horrible dystopia.
I do gotta
The ad is not reading the room.
I gotta give a shout out to Michael Knowles. I guess he sold out of like 4 months worth of cigars.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
And,
so cool.
yeah, now I'm like, well, now I gotta buy. I don't smoke, but like, gotta support the parallel economy, man.
Yeah.
We've got Jeremy's soap downstairs. What is that a thing?
Is there
Oh yeah.
soap now?
Yeah, there was. I saw that.
It's like soap and deodorant, and I'm like, what? I didn't know that existed.
I was just
Yeah.
waiting for him to come out with like dark chocolate, but instead he was like, on to the next product.
Give it
Thank
time.
you.
Give it time. He'll
See,
have it.
like, there's going to be 2 realities in 50 years. There's going to be the people who live in the pods and eat the bugs. Outside, you're going to go to Jeremy's, which is like, you go inside, it's a superstore warehouse that has every product on it for your Jeremy's membership. And they got everything. They got beef, they
Jeremy
got
Mart.
pork. Yeah, it's basically Costco, but it'll be called Jeremy's.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I would do ad reads for fun products, like not real ones, like ejection seats and helicopters, like a whole. Like,
Oh, what a beautiful image.
But it is interesting, this idea that like people are trying to read meaning or value. Like I think people feel so lost in everything that's happening. They're trying to find clues, like this idea that it's hell meta. Like,
Right.
is this the sign? Are we looking for something? And I think that
Right.
is, again, this craving for direction in life that people just don't have.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.